Chandler Simpson is going to lead MLB in stolen bases. That's not a hot take, right?
That's a good thing to put green Skittles on. I'm not saying it's going to absolutely happen, but I would side to the effect that, yeah, that would be a good bet to take.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Captain Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
We're here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
So grab your favorite Rays gear and settle in as we discuss the Rays taking 2 of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles, and some nice showings from Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero coming out of the All-Star break. Plus, we'll look ahead to the upcoming series against the lowly Chicago White Sox. That is what we have on today's program.
And before we get to all of that, I got to tell you that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. And I bet a lot of people were getting a lot of green Skittles during Chandler Simpson's hitting streak, because, boy, that went on for 18 straight, man. And that, I don't think that's – I know it's a Rays rookie record – RRR. But I don't think hitting streaks are going to be that difficult for Chandler Simpson, a guy who really can just put the bat on the ball and spread to all fields.
Yeah, I think we really need to enjoy and commemorate the fact that this guy is 24 years old and hitting .308. And he's upped his on-base percentage to a nice .338 clip. Again, we're not going to see the OPS. We're not necessarily going to see the OPS plus, although that's actually pretty respectable when you consider the lack of power that he has. But every time he comes up to the plate, it's must watch, not for a home run or even an inside the park homer, but because he has such a good feel for hitting, and he has that old school vibe and mentality of like, yeah, I'm going to choke up on the bat. I'm going to foul off as many pitches as I can until I can get one that I can hit up the middle or hit the other way or ultimately find a hole. And that's what he did on Saturday. I mean, he was pretty much one of the key cogs in helping the Rays get that victory, between the base hit and the stolen base and all the hijinks that followed. And he is a danger at the plate. He's a danger on the base pass, and we're seeing some nice glove work from him in center field. I mean, he made the very last out of the game, jumping up for a ball in deep center to close it out, and we saw the signature Crazy Eyes Fairbanks be like, "Oh, that was good. That was nice. I appreciate that, Chandler." But Chandler Simpson is a guy that I think, again, might get overshadowed a little bit by what Aranda and Caminero are doing, but I think he is going to be a really nice piece for years and years to come, assuming that the Rays hold on to him and don't trade him like they traded Xavier Edwards or somebody like that.
Right. And I think this guy is so elite in one specific skill, a very important skill. I would say, honestly, also the bat to ball skills are really great as well.
Yes.
You don't hit 300 in the major leagues very easily, and not in 2025. But if you just want to go through one stat, but what he brings when he gets up to the plate, and you've been to the stadium multiple times as well, people are on it. When Chandler Simpson comes up to the plate, the audience, the crowd, it's a feel. It's a like eyes on Chandler, and people are. Usually that has been one of my big grievances with Rays Nation, is I feel like we need a little bit more of let's support a little bit fast, a little bit louder. I see that with Chandler Simpson. When he comes up to the plate, I feel like people are like, we cannot miss this. This something really cool could happen. And I went on Friday to Friday's game,
Nice.
And that was a fantastic game to go to. But you really feel that with Chandler Simpson, with Junior Caminero, it's like you have to stop and watch. I don't care if you're, putting stuff in your face with a hot dog or a Cuban burger. You still got to watch what's going on.
Yeah, those are really two guys that you need to go to bat for. And hey, invest in a Scherzer or a jersey for. I mean, I would think that Caminero and Chandler Simpson are going to stick around with the Rays for at least the next couple of years, assuming that new ownership comes in and doesn't change anything too majorly. But I think it's something that the Rays need and baseball needs, a player of his caliber and his unique skill set, where it's not just the 3 true outcomes. You're either going to strike out, hit a homer, or a walk. Simpson, it's totally opposite of that. I mean, how many guys in baseball have a strikeout rate of under 10%, let alone a rookie that's 24 years old? So he could theoretically get better. I mean, assuming
of course
continues to develop, maybe he's a 320 or 330 hitter down the line. I mean, he's like, I know people had said, oh, is he too much like a Billy Hamilton? Well, no, because Billy Hamilton didn't have the bat to ball skills in the approach that Simpson did. I mean,
right.
Hamilton more or less would have to bunt to be able to get on base because he struck out so much. He struck out like he was a power hitter, but Simpson, he knows his role and knows his game and knows his skill set. And I think that ultimately is what makes him successful. And he's never like, that's just not him. He's not going to be a guy like I would, in the case, not to go on a diatribe here, but I would actually be kind of upset if we heard in the offseason that Chandler Simpson added 20 pounds of muscle to increase power. I don't really need I don't want anything to sacrifice his speed or his approach at the plate.
What you're doing is working. What you hope gets better is, yes, pitch recognition, is knowing when to bunt, knowing to always run hard so that your run actually scores and it doesn't because somebody else got caught at third. Like, those are the things I am looking for him to improve on. But I agree with you. I don't want to see any more like, during the offseason, he got with a physical training. I don't want none of that. In fact, we were talking about this last week with Chandler Simpson. Right now, he has 27 stolen bases. Kevin, do you know who is first in all of MLB, and who is that person?
Who is first in stolen bases? Caballero? I don't know.
Exactly, Jose Caballero, yes. And do you know if Simpson has 27, do you know how many Caballero has?
32?
32 is correct. He's 5 away from the leader. This man is barely over 200 at-bats. And we talked about this, but we're going to keep talking about it. Chandler Simpson is going to lead MLB in stolen bases. Like, that's not a hot take, right?
You mean this year or just in the future?
This year. Oh, in
this
the future,
year, I think it's
100%.
very well in the realm. Correct. I mean, I would like, that's a good thing to put green Skittles on. I'm not saying it's going to absolutely happen, but I would side to the effect that, that would be a good bet to take.
Perfect. I think that would be great. And we've got so much more to discuss, including other takeaways with Junior Caminero and Yandy Diaz. But first, we got to tell you something very important on the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, let's tell you about Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. That is Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House, it is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 of the top brands, actually more than 400 of the top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Whether you're in California or Florida, they can deliver it. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. That's what we like nowadays, even with AI and all that stuff. Supply House, thousands of skilled professionals, they're already taking advantage And now it is your turn. Go ahead, join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is at supplyhouse.com.
A couple notes on Chandler Simpson before we get into a couple other players that we want to highlight and underscore. Chandler Simpson is hitting 355 on fastballs this year, 324 on breaking balls. The bugaboo, however, is the off speed. He is hitting 139. So I'm sure that's something that he needs to shore up in the future, and that opposing teams are probably going to try to attack him a little bit more if they get the opportunity or the chance. And it's not like he's the only one that struggles with off speed. I think a lot of young players have that challenge. That is something that Junior Caminero, for example, is dealing with. The other thing too, Ulises, is it just me, or is the bunt kind of coming back in baseball?
I kind of think so, but it's also what kind of DNA do you have in your lineup? And I think us as Rays fans, we do have the chance to see a lineup that's dynamic, that can do those sorts of things. But I have noticed a little bit more bunting from the Rays, not only to get the men in from first and third, which we love that play. Keep playing. It's like 98% that run is going to score from third. I will say I was very happy. Yeah, are you going to bump one of them up and pump them up? Yeah, and it's going to suck, and you're going to be like, he should just swung back. Of course. But usually if the right guys are doing it, and the right guys right now are Caballero, Simpson, and Walls. The other day, Walls did a very good bunt, placed a very good bunt. And that's kind of what we had been talking about with Taylor Walls and Kevin Kiermaier when we were talking. Use your speed. You have the wheels. If you are able to put one down, not only are you going to get on base, not only are you going to be a havoc on the bases, but now teams are going to be kind of worried of you dropping one down, and now you actually open up the field a little bit for yourself.
For the record, the reason I bring up bunts is because I did see an article on that, and the bunt leaders in baseball so far in 2025, Kyle Isbell and Jacob Young both have 19 bunts apiece. That includes, I guess, failed bunts, bunt hits, and sack bunts. Victor Scott II has 18, and then there's a bunch of different dudes that have 9, 8, 7, 5, and so on. So maybe that's something that is coming back in vogue. We know that, things change and evolve in baseball, and the bunt was out of style, but for one reason or another, maybe it's coming back in style. Which again, I think it's just an added compliment to the game. You don't just want to see the same thing all the time. You don't just want to see guys swinging for the fences. You want to see some gamesmanship and some different skill sets at play. And I think it's a good thing from time to time to be able to experience that. A guy who probably doesn't need to bunt all that often is one Junior Caminero. Ulises, one of the concerns perhaps that we had from his busy All-Star break, playing and starting in the All-Star game and then participating in the Home Run Derby and finishing second in that event was, well, is he going to be exhausted? Is he going to be tired? Is his swing going to be altered? Well, I think he's pretty much more or less put that to rest, because he had a pretty strong weekend against the Orioles, starting off on Friday when he went 3 for 5 with 2 homers and 4 RBI. Saturday went 1 for 4 with a double and no strikeouts. And then Sunday, he went 2 for 5. And he made an impact in all those games respectively, some more than others. But if you add up all his numbers from his first couple games coming back from the break, he's hitting like 430 or something like that. So he is, hopefully, knock on wood, not dealing with the Derby curse, and he's back to the same old Junior Caminero that we're used to. And now he's at it. 25 home runs.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? And there's still 40% of the season to go.
62 games left, including Monday's affair. So yeah, good for him. 25 home runs. I think if you would have Do you have his line, his like traditional stats right in front of you, or would you have to look them up?
I can pull it up very quickly.
Okay, because just give me, if you could give us, the 1970s type of thing. Give me the slash line, home runs, RBIs.
Okay, so he has 25 homers. He has a 259 batting average, 65 RBIs, 57 runs. His OPS is 811. OPS plus is 122. On base percentage is 296.
I think if you would have said to Rays fans in the beginning of the season, hey, would you take this line at the end of the season from Junior Caminero? I think we would have all been like, yes. Like, is there room for improvement? Sure, especially that on base, right? Like, we would have seen like, oh, maybe he should have scored a little bit more or be a run producer. Whatever it is, we would have nitpicked. But overall, that's a really good start for a 21, 22-year-old guy with his first big full season with the Rays, right?
Yeah.
Like, we would have all been happy. There's 62 bleeping more games. Like, this can even get better. So, like, I think overall, I am incredibly satisfied. You would have added all-star. You would have added home run derby runner-up to that for Rays fans. I mean, really a tremendous season for Junior already. Already, it's been a really great season. He can only get better with this. So hopefully he does. I think the fear of him kind of screwing up his swing mechanics after the Derby, I think baseball fans were always going to be divided on that, either yes or no.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to know that it doesn't seem like it really affected him. Maybe if it did, on the opposite, it kind of amped him up a little bit more. Yeah. That 3-run shot made me incredibly happy on Friday. It's really great to see the guy who is supposed to lead the team in offense for years to come is already taking up that mantle at 22 years old.
No, and the thing is, again, 25 home runs on its own is great, but the fact that you have so many you're hitting 2-run shots or 3-run shots or grand slams, that is what a big bopper and slugger is expected to do. And not to say it always has to be a home run. Sometimes it's a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single. And that's something that I think we need to appreciate a little bit more, is when it starts to get a little bit tight, when you're down to the wire in counts and outs, Caminero has still found a way to deliver time and time again. By the way, he is the 4th player in MLB history to record multiple homers in his first game after participating in the home run derby. So Friday was certainly special. You wish that maybe the Rays could have saved up some runs from Friday's game over to Sunday and perhaps Saturday, but that's of course not how the game works. But and again, you mentioned the Oppo shot too. That we need to appreciate what he's able to do with spreading the dingers around the entire periphery of the ball field. It's not just hitting pull shots. It's straightaway center. It's the other way. Wherever the ball is placed, whatever type of pitch it is, he can do damage of it because of his immense swing speed and the ability to get launch on it as well.
That's right. But there's another guy who can do a lot of damage, maybe not with a lot of power, or maybe a little bit of power too. But we got to tell you something very important next on the Locked On Rays podcast, your team every day. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green like Kevin, or high-stakes soccer action like myself, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. If you're watching this podcast, you know you're following the action already, so why not make a little bit more thrilling and throw a little bit of that green Skittles on the games? We've been using FanDuel a lot, mate, with the 6 really good weeks of Rays baseball. Maybe you feel a little bit of a vibe there and put some green Skittles on the Rays to win the World Series. And guess what? If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So again, open the FanDuel app. First bet, $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Kevin, there's another guy. And I got to tell you, he's got big muscles. And I already know that you know who it is, and other Rays fans know who it is. It's Yandy Diaz, who, by the way, has been killing it since June 1st. He's hitting 372 with a 441 on base. 441 on base. That's ridiculous. 19 multi-hit games. If you look at his numbers compared to last season, he's already beat them. And again, just with Caminero, 62 games left. He's hitting 295 with a 352 on base, an 823 OPS, 15 home runs. He extended his on-base streak at Steinbrenner Field to 18 games with a single in the first inning. And he has hits in 16 of those games and a 420 batting average during that stretch. He also has an 11-game hitting streak against the Orioles. It seems like Yandy Diaz is inevitable. Yes, he's had slow starts in 2024 and 2025 in April. But after that, he has been a legit same player that we expect at the top of the lineup. And I feel like just like some people outside of Rays fandom doubt the Rays, like, oh, are they really going to do anything? Like time and time again. I think within Rays fandom, there is a little fear of like, we got to get rid of Yandy before it all comes crumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's enough of a sample size to just know that, yeah, even if he starts slow, this guy just has that's his talent. It's his eye at the plate will always carry him. And everybody says, baseball players say, that even when you're slumping, if you're seeing the ball well, if you're taking your walks, the hits will follow. And that's something that Yandy has. He knows the strike zone. He has plate discipline. Even when he's in a slump, he can always get on base, and then the hits will follow with him.
Yeah, it's something to behold with Yandy, and as unfortunate as it is to discuss, because of his consistent, continual play and how well he's doing this year. I mean, people could have made an argument for maybe him being an all-star as well. I know he was kind of throttling that line, if you will, but I would say there's probably been worse players with worse numbers that have been selected to the all-star game, but that's neither here nor there. What I want to focus on with Yandy is the fact that defensively, he has, accepted the change in role with age. First, we remember him years ago, he was a third baseman and sometimes played first. And then before you knew it, he was a first baseman. And now he's pretty much exclusively a DH. And I think that's more difficult. Players don't get enough credit for making that transition and change. I mean, think about how much of a stink Rafi Devers has put up or did put up with the Red Sox before ultimately being traded. But accepting his role and knowing that, defensively, probably not all there. There's a younger guy like Jonathan Aranda and some others that can fill that void at first. At third, we have Caminero. Yandy, really all we need you to do is come up to the plate 4 or 5 times a night and do your absolute best. And, I think it's also helped him by, as he gets into 32, 33, not being a spring chicken anymore, that allows his body to save itself for the long haul of 162 plus playoffs in spring training. And we can continue to see that bat thrive. Like, to me, Yandy is a guy that I legitimately could see him playing until his late 30s, just based on the bat alone. And if you have to pigeonhole him as a DH, that's perfectly fine because he has enough in that bat to carry him and find a roster spot.
Especially in a team that is not known for hitting prowess. And I think if Yandy Diaz is missing from this lineup, you can really tell. It's very apparent. So while I actually have 2 questions for you, Kevin, and while I set them up, I would like you to look up Yandy Diaz's BREF page. So you have his
got it right here
in front of you. Okay. Yandy, do you know how many home runs with the Rays he has?
With the Rays, he has 89.
Okay. Let's say 10. Does Yandy get to 100 career home runs with the Rays?
By the end of the season or just in a Rays uniform?
Well, the question comes because he could be traded not only in the trade deadline, but could be in the offseason. So if you have to lean one way or the other, does he have enough power to give 10 more bombs? And does he have enough time in a Rays uniform to give 10 more bombs?
That is such a tough question. I would say no, because, I mean, they even shopped him around last year.
Yes.
So I think the writing is on the wall that there's
even with the extension, and they picked up the option this year, even with that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
As unfortunate as it is to say that, I would lean towards no.
Okay. So does that mean that you also would say no because he needs 54 hits to make the top 5 in all-time Rays hits? Top 5. He needs 54 hits. Does he
I would also say no to that. Because I don't know if he even gets, if he stayed with the Rays the rest of this season, which is a question mark, he might not even get 54 hits in 60 games or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He could. I mean, but he'd have to play every game and
go nuts,
and be available. So, yeah.
Or not get traded at all and still play next year. And then you're like, okay, well, yeah, he could make it. But all right. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right, so you need to enjoy every Yandy at bat while you can, especially if the Rays have a couple bad series against the opponents coming up. I mean, what was it? Last year, the Rays were 4.5 out of the wild card, and we saw how many players that were traded.
Yeah.
At the time of that trading, I mean.
Basically like 10 players, but yeah. It was a lot. So, yeah, enjoy Yandy Diaz. Shout out to Owen France, who I saw on Friday's game, Locked on Rays. Listener, everyday listener. So thank you, Owen. And, yeah, let's go get the White Sox, man. And we'll talk about that on Tuesday's episode.
Yes, we will. And we do need to let you all know that make sure you are subscribed to Locked on Rays. That way you don't miss any of the great Rays content that we've got for you. That also includes Rays Postcast with Jonathan Shields, our buddy. He is live, and I mean live, like minutes per minute after the final out of every game. You get 2 shows for the price of 1, which is, of course, free. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.